Ah, well, hello, hello, hello. How is everyone doing today? I'm uh, I'm Alex. It's nice to meet you all. I am the animator at Gönndyr Games, and I'm doing very well, thank you, CP. So I'll just wait a few more minutes, let everyone catch up, and it's my first time streaming. I'll have to be honest with you. So you'll have to tell me, if my voice is coming through okay, if there's any pauses in the stream. I don't have fantastic internet, so it's probably not you, it's me. So do tell me in the chat if there's any problems, and we can do technical technical maintenance on the fly, hopefully. Brilliant. So today, well, I'll tell you what, I'll wait a few more minutes before I go through my introductions. For now, we can chill. Where are you all coming from? I'm, as you may be able to guess from my accent, currently in England. How about everyone else? Well, I asked where everybody's coming from today. French. I'll tell you what, I'm actually half French. This is a secret I like to keep from people so I can spring it out on them when they least expect it. And of course, Germany, country of my dear employers, who I'm sure are watching me now with a close eye. So I'll try and keep everything child friendly and informative, and hopefully mix some fun in there as well. Turkey. Fantastic. So we're coming from every single corner of Europe so far. Alright. Dragons make everything better. Well, I'm inclined to agree. Aren't you lucky then? Because we're going to be working on some dragons today, in fact. So today what I'm planning to do is, well, why don't I just show you? So here we are in Blender, and thank you for the follow. I hope I'll be able to earn it for you in the next couple of hours. This is our lovely golden dragon. This is a very important enemy in the game Towers and Dragons. And this will be the most difficult enemy you're going to come across in our upcoming demo, which we plan to be releasing next month. Yes, that's August. So, yeah, I better get to work on him then, eh? My favourite dragon? Well, you know what? I like, oh dear. I kind of like the brown dragon at the minute. But we'll see. Once I start working on the golden dragon, I might like him more. I'll just show you what I mean by the brown dragon quickly. So he's over here. What I'm going to do today is work on some some more of the technical stuff that we need to do in order to start animating the dragons. And then the plan is that we're going to do future streams in which you'll actually get to see me animating them. So today it's all about the setup, the core. We're going to take a model exported directly from Magica Voxel, which is the program that our lovely art team make all of the designs in. And then we're going to fix it all up, make it ready for Blender, and then we're going to rig it today. So it's going to be more technical stuff, but I hope it's going to be nice and informative. So let's go back to our gold dragon. You could see how much bigger he is. This is a nasty dragon. So first of all, I've just basically, as I said, imported this from Magica Voxel, and it comes in several pieces, all separate pieces here, the head stuff. So this will make rigging it a lot easier. So this is a good bit of thinking here. However, Magica Voxel does some interesting things. If we look at the wing here, I think it'll be most obvious. If I tab into edit mode, there's a huge mess of polygons and vertices. Polygons, of course, being all of these triangles that it's made up of, and it's just kind of messy. There's lots of unnecessary polygons here, and as we all know, the less polygons you can put in your game, the faster it'll run. So let's try and fix this up, shall we? First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just duplicate everything. So I've got two dragons, and then move it to a new layer, if you will, or a new collection, as they're called in Blender. So I can work on this one without worrying about, ruining anything. Now there's a few ways of removing polygons. The easiest, I think, we can do first. Oh no! CP, you have to go. Well, thank you for joining me anyway. We're actually going to upload this to YouTube afterwards, so I'll let you know when it's up there. So don't worry, you're not going to miss too much. Anyway, bye bye. So I'm just going to go into edit mode, select everything, and then it's a cool little thing you can do. Just remove doubles, or merge by distance, as it's called in the newest version of Blender. They do like to change the names of everything around. And that straight away, let's see what that did, got rid of 6,700 vertices, or these little points that the triangles are made up of. So that's a good start. It has, however, made it look like it's melted. Like we kept the Lego too close to the fire. So what happens here is that I've deleted a lot of the information that Magica Voxel was storing to make it look how it's supposed to look. But luckily Blender can do that anyway. So there's a little function here, just clear custom normals. And this will just let Blender take over from here. And we can do that for all of them, or we can just merge it and do it for the whole thing like that. Separate by loose parts. So, sorry, I hope everybody's keeping up. Is the poly section automated by importing into Blender? So Magica Voxel will export it in a certain way. Magica Voxel actually works in voxels, so it doesn't use polygons at all. And it has to sort of translate it, if you will, when it, makes it into something I can import into Blender. So it's fine, but it could be better, and that's why games aren't made by robots but by people. So, how many people work on Towers and Dragons at the minute? 4, 5 if you include someone doing the music, and yeah, so it's a small team, but we have a lot of fun together. We always bouncing ideas around I don't think we'll ever stop coming up with ideas for this game, so it's good fun. Right, anyway, so now we've got this all looking like it's supposed to. One thing we can do is add a modifier in Blender. Modifiers are used to do all sorts of things. Decimate, which is used to remove unnecessary polygons, and I'm just going to click on this planar option here, and then what I can do is actually duplicate that for all of the models I have selected and apply it for all of them. And now what this has done, if you remember, this wing was covered in all sorts of pieces, and now it's just one flat, well, it's obviously made up of little bits, but there isn't, if we compare it to the original, I think you'd agree it's a lot simpler. So this is the first step. Now I've got to look at this piece and make sure that it hasn't missed anything, and if I'm happy with it, I can bring back the triangles. And it does need some triangles in it, but this is a much lower amount. So I hope everyone's following so far. So this is quite good because Blender does a lot of this for you, really. So basically I'm just making sure it hasn't missed anything. Yeah, looks good to me. So this is a lot lower now. So already we've gone from, let's see, we've gone from 10,000 triangles or polygons to 5,000. So that cuts it in half, and you'll be glad to know we can cut it in half even more later. But for now, if I take it back to the textured view, you'll see that it's melted again. Oh, what's happened? It's horrible. It's oh, I never get over how these look. It's so funny. But that's because what Magical Voxel was actually doing was, you'll notice each color has its own set of triangles. You'll notice here, this golden part here is its own set. This this white part here is its own set, and that's how it was doing it. It was separating the colors by geometry. Now, there's a much better way of doing this that video games have been using since the first ever Doom, the first ever 3D game, and that is a texture map. So you might notice here in the bottom left I've had hiding away a texture atlas of all different dragons. So you can see this area here, the brown bit, is where all of the textures for the brown dragon are. This is the white section, clearly a different monster. Green section, another monster again. Blue section, a wyvern. Oh, did I mention the name? Well, actually, you can see all of these dragons on our Instagram page. It's at Gönndyr Games. That's GOENNDYR, Gönndyr Games. And we're posting there pretty often, several times a week. We've got all the animations and things like that, if you want to see more. And of course, it does look quite spectacular as it is. Sort of, maybe this is adaptive camouflage. Hey, that's an idea for the game. Dragons, chameleon dragons. But no, what we're going to do is UV unwrap it. So another thing that luckily Blender does pretty much automatically for us. First I'm going to switch this over to the dragon material. There we go, which is just black at the minute because we don't have any textures yet. Smart UV project works very well, and this here, it's, as you can see, laid out all of the different parts of the dragon onto one square. And I'm just going to tidy a few things up here. I need some elevator music. This is the part which only humans can do so far. But I don't know. One day, maybe a robot will take my job. It's hard to tell. Speaking of music, how's the music for you guys? Nice, just a bit of gentle background music, nothing too distracting, I hope. It's all music that'll be in the game, I'm pleased to say. I'm really liking it so far, what I've heard of it. And in fact, there is the musician in the chat. Brilliant. Well, do announce yourself. We'd all like to hear from you. Stephen Vinyl, that's his name. He's on Instagram too. And by the way, while I'm plugging stuff, as I seem to be in the habit of doing, we've also got a Discord channel. It's been going pretty nicely over there. We're just a nice small community. It's pretty relaxed. We're sharing stuff about stuff we're making, all sorts of things. Oh, we've even got a Minecraft server very kindly set up for us by one of our Discordees, or Discordernaut. I don't know what you prefer. Maritime Discorder. That's a bit weird. And yeah, you could find the link to that on our Instagram page as well, in our bio. So here I'm just lining everything up because everything's got to be straight and pixel and nice, nothing overlapping. And I tried to figure out if there was a way to do this automatically, but nothing was quite as successful as just getting your hands dirty and doing it yourself. Don't have to get everything perfectly lined up, but just make sure that nothing's overlapping or anything. Oh, this one doesn't want to go anywhere, does he? Giant game of Tetris, that's what UV unwrapping is. Much maligned by many a 3D artist. I guess this is tedious if you're doing it for a huge model, but it's alright. It's alright. You hear no music? Oh, just make sure I'm not doing anything wrong. I think it's quite quiet. I'll raise the volume a little bit, but you also need to be able to hear my beautiful voice, so not too loud. Fantastic. Maybe the music just had a pause. I mean, poor old Stephen's got to have a rest as well, you know. Yes, so this is very exciting. What have you guys been up to lately? Anything exciting happening in Germany or France or Turkey? There you go. He's revealed himself, the programmer. Another member of our team. It's Dirty Murty there in the chat. We're working in Unity. Perhaps if we've got any Unity users here. Who knows? I'm putting him on the spot now, but maybe he can answer a question or two in the chat. While we're here, you know, get the most you can out of us. Yes, of course, we've also got our lovely artists in the chat. Feel free to, you know, rack their brains as well. I'm absolutely in love with all these. Well, this one doesn't look so good, does it? But I'm absolutely in love with all of these models. I've been having so much fun working on all the little buildings and everything, and oh, it's just so fun. Here's the Drakling. You'll have seen this if you're following our Instagram again. And yeah, it's been so much fun working on them. Anyway, sorry, back to work. Ain't no rest for the wicked. I didn't promise this would be too exciting, did I? Oh dear. Maybe I should have done this earlier, and then we could have done a you know, transition. And here's one I made earlier. Oh well, you live and learn. But yeah, everything needs to be straight, because otherwise it's going to be really weird when it comes out. When it finishes baking, which is a technical term, I'll have you know. Well, just a couple more bits now. Nearly done. Nearly done. I hope none of you are asleep. Or if you're listening to this late at night where you are, perhaps this is helping you get to sleep. In which case, would you like me to sing to you? The correct answer to that is, of course, no. You do not want to hear me sing. Right, well, it's about as good as it's gonna get, isn't it? I mean, oh, it's perfect, of course. Yes, I keep forgetting my boss is watching. No, it looks good to me. And then what I'm gonna do is just pop this over here, line it up with ones I've already done, so that I know how big each pixel is. Just make sure it's perfect as can be. Alright. Oops, just snap everything to pixels. Make sure nothing's moved too much. Ooh, is that overlapping? I see there. Okay, let's try and rejig this. Okay, that's much better. Yeah. Ooh, I forgot that one. Alright. So, don't let anyone tell you that animating isn't fun. Oh, you know what? Can this be smaller? Okay. No, it looks good to me. Oh well, we'll find out in a minute if it comes out horrible. So I've left plenty of space here for another dragon to slot in alongside. Yeah, that's great. This texture is tiny. It's 256 by 256 pixels. So that's one of the benefits of working on a voxel game. Is that everything's really low resolution. So it'd be super easy. Okay, so at the minute it's just a shadow. It's just I guess this is what the poor archers see before something swoops down out of the corner of their eye and. Well, we'll leave the graphic details for later, shall we? Let's start baking, which is very fun. What we're going to do is we're going to take this texture here and we're going to transfer it by magic to this one, which I've completely changed the geometry of. So, yeah, let's do that. Do then. Blender set up. Just two things. It looks fine to me. And then what will happen is... Oh, by the way, I just realised you guys probably can't see what buttons I'm pressing. I just make them all a bit bigger for you. There we go. I realise it's probably hard to see on a smaller screen. Anyway, what I'm going to do now is bake the texture. Baking. Yes, we making tasty dragon treats. Well, who knows? So that oh, what would that be then? Some sort of German dish? What would I tried to pronounce it as sour Thai. Is it equivalent to saute? Saute dragon? Maybe we're making dragon cookies. I think that sounds a bit better, doesn't it? So pay attention carefully to the black square in the bottom left, because that's about to start filling with some colour. There we go. So you can see what I'm doing here. Very simply, one by one, I am transferring the textures, via magic of course, as I explained fully, to the new dragon. So texture baking is... whoops, wasn't meant to do that. Texture baking has been a staple of video game design for a long time. And forever shall it be. Whoops. Oh. Sorry, I just undid all my work there. That was very clever of me, wasn't it? Alright, bye for now. Please join us for the next one. It'd be great to have you back. How's the connection been, by the way, guys? Did I mention this is my first time streaming and that my internet isn't fantastic? Well, if you've been having interruptions in the stream, then you've probably noticed this already. Fantastic to hear. I hope this is as exciting as you imagined it. I mean, I could do this pretty quickly now because obviously I've done it a few times for the other dragons, but it took me a while to figure out actually. There's quite a few steps involved. And working with voxels is very different to working with more traditional modelling. So, but we're saving the best for last. I haven't started rigging yet. Now that's exciting. He says with what is hopefully a clearly sarcastic tone of voice. No, I don't mind actually. Wow, I'm glad someone's enjoying it. By the way, this is actually a pretty accurate representation of what happens as well. I do talk to myself all of the time when I'm doing this. It's just how I keep saying, you know. It's just, what else is a man to do? All right, save it this time. Don't overwrite it. Okay, let's see how it turned out. Oh, you couldn't tell the difference, could you? Look at that. Well, apart from the fact that okay. Look, you couldn't tell the difference. Let's shrink that back down again. Looks the same to me. Bound to find a few mistakes somewhere, but importantly, it's significantly less complicated for Unity to work out. So that's good, and you can see here now, lovely texture atlas has this new section. As I said, the golden dragon is a bit bigger. I think that sort of shows it off. Yeah, fantastic. So, what do you want to see now? I'll let you vote. I'll let you vote with your keyboard. We can go straight into rigging now, and then do a sort of low poly, lower detailed version of the dragon later, where I'm sure the people who created these will be cringing in their boots just watching me destroy all the lovely details that they put into them. Or would you like to get that over with first, and then we can go into rigging later? There's like a 5-second delay, so I'm just waiting patiently for your replies. Taking a sip of water. Let's do rigging then, go on. First one in gets it. So, we've got all of these separate parts of the dragon. What I'm going to do is just merge them all. I hope I merge them all now. Oh well, I'll find out later if I don't. I'll just save it quickly. So they're all one thing now, but the parts are still separate. I can still move them around separately. Now, what I need to do is think about how many different parts this dragon is made of. So we've got like a foot, and then 1, 2 sections for the front leg. And the back leg has 3 sections. The tail has many sections. Actually, not too many. Body has 3 sections. Tail 2. So, I'm going to make a very simple skeleton for this. So, oh no, there we go. There we go. Sorry, Blender changes too much for me to remember where anything is. So we've added our first bone, as they call it. Let's look the other side. What I'm going to do is so this will be our first bone. We're going to call this root. I don't know why it's called root, but they are. That's all you need to know. And there you go. There's our root. This will be the bone from which everything else is attached. So I'm then going to make another bone. And let's start with the body. That sounds sensible. So I'm just going to drag it up roughly here. I move it by precise amounts, then I know that everything is perfectly aligned. So what I love about Blender is you basically type stuff on the keyboard. You don't you barely move the mouse when you're using Blender. So I moved it to the front here. And then let's see where this part of the body ends about here. So I'm going to extend it and just snap it to that, and then somebody's texted me. Ah, brilliant. So what we can do is set the rule. What I'm going to do actually is flip this thing around 180. There we go. So this way it will pivot from the sort of fat end here to go into pose mode. You can see here it'll pivot like so, and then that way we'll be able to rear up and sort of do all sorts of crazy things. So let's produce another one. Now coming from here, it's the second part of the body. Hey, I never said this part was exciting either. up to the vertice. Come on, there we go. So also important to name them. So this one will be body 1. This one will be body 2. And hey, can you predict what the third one will be? That's right. Body 3. So, it actually needs to go one bit further. There we go. So we've got our first bit of rig set up. Now at the minute, the way it's set up is when you move that, it'll move the ones behind it down the chain. So that'll be good for stuff like tails and things like that. But we can't move them at the minute. So for example, you can see this one, I can separate them, which is kind of handy when we're doing with this sort of, you know, Lego wooden block toy style of, you know, animation. And I do tend to sort of slide the blocks around each other a lot. So what we need to do is just clear the parent. Oh no, we do that here. Clear the parent. No, don't clear the parent. Don't do that. Disconnect the bone. So what it's doing now is it is still influenced by, you know, the other one. You can see it's still moving around because of it, but we can also move it around completely separately if we wish. So let's continue on with the tails then, shall we? So the tail here. By the way, this is the bit when my keyboard gets excited, so don't bear with me if you can't hear my voiceover. Yeah, so sorry if I just killed anyone's ears by doing that. Actually, no, I'm not sorry. He deserved it. There you go. Lovely people. So disconnect. I'm actually going to move it down a couple. Not that far. So we up a bit. So we get roughly the middle. Roughly the middle. So yeah, I mean, hey, it's art. You can do whatever you want. I like to keep them straight like this. For specifically this voxel thing, normally you'd have them like this, and then you know like that. But because it's so based on this, like, you know, everything's cubes and stuff aesthetic, I don't know, I kind of prefer them to be straight like that, and then I can tell when things aren't, you know, rotated. You know, I can tell when everything's lined up and perfect. And so, is there 2 here? Oh good, there's 2 here. So. Let's see. Let me get that part. Oh, I guessed that one right. Brilliant. So this one actually starts here, ends there. Okay. Again, it's all complicated. Wait, sorry, not complicated, but tedious. Let's do that. And then I think there's 2 more pieces. Yeah, 2 more pieces. And then we've done the tail. And if I was clever, I would have renamed them before I made them, but that's fine. We can always do that later. And the final tailbone. Look at that. He's got a tail. Wow. Brilliant. That's right, I do make silly voices. So we've got body 1, body 2, body 3. Can you guess how I'm going to name these? Oh, you have no idea. So I'm going to battery name them. Watch this. Battery name. Find place. Okay. And oh no, it didn't work. I know why it didn't work. Real. So now we've got tail 1. I go straight to tail 3. Fantastic. Okay, just those two that got mixed up. All right. See, this is what happens when you trust computers with your job. Tail 4, tail 5, tail 6. So once again, we need them to influence each other so that we can do cool things. At the minute, they are just each a separate, completely separate piece. So what we're going to do is, oh yes, they use rigging in 2D animation a lot now as well. I haven't looked into it much, but it's pretty exciting stuff. I never thought I had the aptitude for 2D animation, but now I know there's rigging in that too. Maybe. Never say never. Okay, so what am I looking for? What was I going to do? Yes, I was going to parent them. So this is parented to that. We want to keep the offset, so we don't want them connected. Again, if I'd thought in advance, I wouldn't have to do this, but it's half the fun. That is, yeah. So right now we've got body 1 is doing its own thing. Body 2 controls body 3, controls tail 1, controls tail 2, controls tail 3, and we have a contortionist on our hands. So, yeah, and I've got all the axes visible here. The axes are this Z, X, Y. That just tells me they're all facing the same direction. If, for example, this one was like that, then I'd know that it's kind of weird. And the reason you want them all facing the same way is so that they all act consistently, because what you can do is if I select all the tail like this, then I can rotate them all by the same axis and it will sort of curl or will do whatever, or I can make it, you know, swish like that. Otherwise, if they were all off doing their own thing, it would be crazy. You know, if we imagine that we do that, do this, you know, do that. And then suddenly, I mean, it's not so much fun anymore. It's, you know, what's happening here? So, I don't know if you could see what's happening here, but it's pretty messy. So let's just undo all of that. Yeah. So, we've got the tail. That's all set up. In fact, we can. Yeah, let's do the head next, or the neck. Sorry, or the neck and the head. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. So I'm just going to start about here, end about here. Let's do that. RIP ears. I'm sorry. Has something happened? Have I gone very loud? Or very quiet? Or am I just too British? Is the question. The answer is of course no. But I'm glad you asked. Must have been the keyboard, perhaps. Oh well. secret we will take to our graves. Right, so that's the first neck. What we're going to call this. Neck uno. Or neck eins, I guess. Let's do that there. Yeah. No, there. We did there. I mean, I'm guessing this at this stage where I want these bones to be in the future. I will probably mess around with the rig a little bit once I start animating, just so that, you know, I might figure that it doesn't quite look right where it's rotating from, and I'll demonstrate that in a minute once the dragon's actually connected to said rig. This one goes to about here. Yeah, that looks right. Okay. Once again, I'm just guessing all of this stuff. That's actually really short. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, okay. I'm glad you agree. my own boss. I know you're watching. I've known the entire time. Right. So, here he is. He's got a neck. Oh, that's kind of weird. Something's wrong here. Yeah, there we go. That's what we want. Always test your rigs, folks, because guarantee something will be weird. Right, so, oh, the legs. We've got to do the legs. Oh, and I've just noticed I made a little mistake. Here we go. So this part here, clearly I forgot to fix this one in the UV. So got a little sort of black triangle here. It reveals the secrets of the triangles beneath. The secrets of the triangles must forever be taken to our graves. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is just redo this real quick before anyone notices that I made a mistake at work. Just pop him here somewhere. Okay, and now I just need to redo it. I'll just paint it by hand. I think it'd be quicker. So let's show you how texture paint things in Blender. I'm just going to pick some colors from here, add them to my color palette for the dragon. So we've got the sort of deeper gold here, lighter gold here. Now, texture painting is one of the areas that Blender sort of struggles with a little bit. So just do that so it's easier to see. Unfortunately, and it's really not set up for texturing on what was I going to say? Voxel art, yes, pixel voxel art. Actually, I think this one is meant to be dark as well. So I actually made my own custom brush to do pixel art. Because it's annoying, it doesn't really have one that's suitable. I could quickly go through that if anyone's interested. Thank you for the good wishes, Lopodamus or Lopodamus, or I'm sure I got it right the first time. Yeah, it's I don't know. Maybe you can quickly write this down. There's no bleed, obviously, because bleed, although it sounds fun, basically makes it go over the lines of what you're drawing, which is not good when you're doing a precise pixel art. We want where is it? Stroke. Here we go. We want the airbrush, and we just want that the rate set to as low as it will go, so that it's actually like when I paint a pixel, it's painting about like 1,000 samples. But unfortunately, it seems to have to do that to get it. It does not like painting on individual pixels. And I've also set a fall off where it's just like drops halfway in between, and that roughly then matches the circle that I'm seeing on the screen. So, like that. I hope that makes sense. If you don't know any of what I just said, don't worry about it. But remember I said it so that you can come back here on the YouTube video and if ever you need this information in your life. Hey, more information is always good information. Should we go back to rigging? That's what we're all here for, by request. So, let's do the legs. Oh, let's do the wings now. The wings are fun. So, oops. Gonna add a new bone. We're gonna call this wing 1L. Done a capital L there, and the reason I put the number first and the letter second, L of course is short for left. This will tell Blender whether it's the left wing or the right wing, and it needs to go at the end. Needs to go at the end, just because it does. I didn't make Blender. I don't have a reason for everything. I'm sure the person who made Blender doesn't have a reason for everything. But it is a thing. So what happens now is pretty cool. So I've made this. Disconnect the bone. So I've got my wing here. Again, I've made sure the axes are where I want them. Yeah. And let's just move them forward a little bit. Yeah, it should be more central. Yeah, and then what I can do is just go right click actually, symmetrize. It's just, look at that, it's just done me a beautiful pair of wings on the other side. I've got wing 1R for right, and this should be wing 2R. Here we go. I'll do the same here. Wing 2L. So that way we've got left and right, and it's all nice. And you can even do some cool stuff, like you can mirror it, so I can have him flap both wings at once just by controlling one. And I believe, yeah, I can do that as well. So pretty fun stuff. Let's do the legs. So the legs start here, all the way up here, and there. So let's do that. So leg, F for front, 1 for because it's the first one. And I'm going to do, this will be, oh, I just realised I got my left and my right wrong. Ah, there we go. I'm not even tired. I don't even have that excuse. So this is L, okay. Luckily, Blender's very forgiving. It knew what I wanted to say. This is L. This is L. These two are R. Hey look, everyone makes mistakes. Okay, so serious now, please. No shenanigans. British people don't make mistakes. Or at least not all of them do. Alright. So I've got my leg. Let's go out a bit. Oops. Let's do that. Yeah. Maybe just move it forward a bit. I mean, look, this isn't exact science. I'm trying to make it look like an exact science just so that you're more impressed. But in truth, you can just kind of do whatever you want. So then I'm going to extrude that down. Disconnect. Move it. So yeah, I've done my leg. That would be leg F2L by my crazy naming system. And then the foot is this old chunk here. So what I'm going to do, actually I'm going to move that forward just one more bit so that it hinges nicely on the, no, it's more important that it hinges nicely here. Then the foot can be its own thing. It's been an hour. Well, I must like to listen to the sound of my own voice because it hasn't felt like it. I hope it's not gone too slowly for you guys either. Although I have a sneaking suspicion it might have been a bit slower than for me. So you want the foot to hinge nicely. Now I'm not going to do anything crazy for rigging. I'm not going to be making any IK rigs or other things you might have heard of. The reason for that is actually I found with this specific voxel style it's much better to have all rigs that you manually control. Now an IK rig is, I think I can just set it up really quickly. No, I can't. What's the yeah, add IK. So this is it has not worked. So this is IK, the idea that oh hang on, here's what I've done wrong. This is also why I don't use IK. So the idea of IK, whoa, okay. Clip here. Alright. So, as I was saying, the whole idea of IK is that you use one bone to control more than one bone. I don't know if this is clear. Probably not. However, I think this needs to be connected. Does this work now? No. Okay, it's still not doing what I wanted to do. But IK is very common in sort of human characters and animals in animation. But I tried several techniques and I couldn't get it set up right for these voxel things. And so the downside of that is that I sort of have to manually correct where everything goes. So instead of just saying my foot is here, I actually have to say my leg is here, my second bit of the leg is here, and my foot is here. And I have to do that for every frame. Instead of just saying the foot is here, Blender, please work out where the leg is. So I can't just say, you know, I'll put my foot up here and it will do the rest for me. So, but the upside is that I can make the animation exactly. Exactly. I want it to be. So let's remove all the constraints. Apparently, it's a bone constraint. That's why I so make sure everything's removed. All right. So. So, yeah, it's a little bit more extra work, but I think it's worth it for the animations because you get to move the leg in a very precisely boxy sort of Lego character-ish way. I feel like that is Okay, no, it's just my eyes. It's actually perfectly lined up. So, hey, look, I've got my front leg all sorted. This is leg F3L, and oh, look at that. Look at that. Blender's already done it for me. Just need to do the back legs now, and we're golden. We're golden dragon. So I'm just going to do it to here. Right. Oops. This is leg. B for back, not to be confused with R for rear. 1 L for left. I'm going to stick that up here. I think it was higher. Yep, just one higher. And we're going to do it across. And I'm going to take the top point and I'm going to drag it down. Yeah. Oh no, it's way high. Even higher. To get where that is, and I'm going to put it facing that way. So this roll here, I should explain, there's a roll here, I don't know how well you can see this on the stream, and this, it rolls the bone. And you can see that the direction that X and that Z, or Z, is facing is changing. So this is important. You know, for when it's rotating, again making sure that they're all rotating the same way each time. So then I'm going to drag down to here, and I think the rear legs had 4 parts in there, yes. So 3, and then the foot is the 4th. Foot. I kind of want it to hinge around there, really. So, yeah, no, yeah. All right. So, looks good to me. That's B4, B3, and B2, and I think we're finished. Apart from, I was too focused on looking at it from the side. So, just need to move these over. And this one too, actually. Oh, it doesn't actually matter. Well, no, it doesn't matter. Do it a bit more. Split the difference. There we go, in the middle. That's how we like it. All right. So. Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, I mean, I'm just guessing at this stage where I want everything to rotate by. Actually, I probably want this to be lower. If you think about it, the leg wouldn't rotate from the top of the leg. It would rotate from like the middle of the leg. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. So now it's sort of rotating around its haunches. This is also far too high. What was I thinking? Clearly not concentrating. Well, I'm afraid Dread Panda, wrong or right also depends on your perspective. Because you get final say if I'm not mistaken on my animation. So I'm sure you'll go easy on me, won't you? Alright. Okay, yeah, that's great now. So I just need to delete these and mirror all of my legs again, or sorry, symmetrize them. Look at that. Look at that. Now that, my friends, is a rig. I'm just going to change it to display, that's what we want. Stick. Okay, this is a lot easier to look at now. And I'm going to make it even easier to look at in a minute. So at the minute we've got the body is connected to the root. So the root should move everything, it does not. That's fine. The upper ends of the legs, well, okay, the front legs are connected to the body, and the upper bits of the rear legs are connected to the last bit of the body, and then the two bits of tail are connected to the first bit of the body, and the head is connected to the knee bone, and the knee bone's connected to the... Alright. And now, so if I move the root, it should move the whole rig. And if I move the body, it should move everything but the root. And I can tell what I want body to be connected to that. So that way I can move the rear bit of the body and the front bit of the body separately. Look at that. Alright, and the legs. There's the legs. What beautiful legs. And everything's disconnected, so I can move them off, stretch them out, make them bigger or smaller, do whatever I want. So it's quite versatile. I've got a lot of animated freedom. I mean, some rigs you find they're all set up so that like you can't even move the leg too far, but what's the fun in that? You've got to be able to overextend. So what I've done here is I've just changed all of the bones to rotate around a certain way, and yeah, I've had a special request for music, so let me do that. Apparently my OSD can't support the file format you sent it in. 2 seconds. I will just... what's the easiest way of doing this? Quickly convert it. We can have intermission, guys, but without music, because we don't have the music set up. Oh, I've been told it's also okay to change it to just any other music. I imagine it's getting a bit grating. Next time I'll be sure to set up a playlist, and then we can have more than one piece of music just looping on a tireless, endless. I think this one's a little bit louder. I'm just going to reduce the volume just a tad, just a little bit. Just down deep boot. Right. Right, well, I tried to convert it, but it seems VLC doesn't like running at the same time as OSD, so we'll just we'll leave it for now. How's the music now, everybody? Not too distracting or irritating, or yeah, sitting in front of the main menu for an hour. Well, then that's what it feels like to make a game, guys. I'm sure poor old Steven's also heard it a few too many times as well. Oh dear. Right. I don't know if he's anything like me, but certainly I get if I like edit a piece of video to some music, I'd never want to listen to it again. So yeah, next time we'll make a playlist. So that'll be fun. Right, here's the fun bit. We finished our rig. Now we've got to parent our rig to the dragon. So what I've done is Blender's automatically set up all these vertex groups here, this long list of names which you might recognize. We've got old classics in there like neck 1 and neck 1 and why is it doing that? There's only one neck. Well, I'll just delete the duplicates, I guess. I'll just delete them all and start again. It is determined to make one of everything, isn't it? Oh, I see. There we go. That'll fix him. Yeah. That's great. Oh, why did I not rename the neck? I didn't rename the neck. You see, this is what you're paying for, guys. I didn't rename the neck. Let's rename the neck, and then call that one head. There we go. Now we know it's important. All right. So we got all of these groups here. Apparently, there's still 2 tail 2s. It's tail 2, There we go. All right. Okay. We'll just put this down to the stream. It was the music. It was the music that I totally can hear distracted me. Yeah. So now your punishment is truly upon you. You are actually listening to the main menu music for 1 hour. Actually, I realise that we're coming up to the end of time here. So, oh no, I'm not. Sorry, you're 1 hour ahead, not 2 hours ahead. That's fine. We do have an hour for us to get bored of this music. There we go. All right, okay. So, snap back to reality. We've got a dragon, and we parented it, but it still doesn't move. What do we need to do? Well, we need to tell Blender which parts of the dragon are doing which thing. So we know that this is body 1, or apparently I just called it body. Well, that's fine as well. This is body 2. Let's just sort them alphabetically, shall we? How do we do that with this? So that is body 2, and what I'm doing is I'm just selecting whatever polygons make up that part, and I am assigning it with this button here to a thing. So then we've got tail 1, tail 2. Did I mention this part was exciting? Tail 6. Now again, for sort of like non-voxel creatures, this is a bit easier because it's not like one bit moves super precisely with everything else. It's more of a case of hang on a minute. Sort by name, that's what I want, and then I can rearrange them after. Brilliant. And then yeah, so of course, like if you were rigging like a realistic looking human, or at least not a voxel one, you'd want, like, you know, there to be a smooth blend between what's affected by the shoulder and the arm and the hand, wouldn't you? You don't want it to all sort of move as one contiguous piece, but here we do. So this is leg, front, 1L, and then move that up, move that up, and then we've got leg 2L, leg 3L. You've got to make sure you don't make any silly mistakes at this point, or it will get confusing later, as one joint tries to move 2 pieces of dragon at the same time. I'm sure you can understand how that would be a little bit annoying. So then we got leg back 1, leg back 2, leg back 3, and leg back 4. Sounds like some sort of dance routine, doesn't it? And today you join our online fitness class. Leg back 1, leg back 2, leg back 3, and relax. Fantastic job, guys. I'm proud of you. Right, then we've got the neck. We're still doing Zumba. That's neck 1, neck 2, neck 3, and now head. Fantastic. So, let's save our progress and check it out. Have I rigged the dragon? I've rigged the dragon. I've rigged the dragon. I've rigged the dragon. Wow, let's make him fly away home to wherever home may be. You can see the tail. Oh, that looks nasty actually. Wouldn't want to be hit by that. And got my legs. That's how they ride bikes. You know, dragons actually invented the bicycle before man. And then the root moves the whole thing, which is useful for for example, if you're doing a walking animation, you want him to start here and then move here, and then you can plot where his feet will go. For now, we will just remove keyframes. How do we do this? Remove. No. Clear keyframes. Oh well, that'll be. Fantastic. So that is one happy-looking rigged dragon. There we go. Oh, isn't he adorable? Oh. Or scary, depending on if you're a tiny spearman or something. Yeah. So, any questions at this stage? Tell you what, since we've come this far, and what I was planning to show you is far more boring. Does anyone want to see a little bit of animation? I have permission. We've received clearance. Okay, so let's just change workspace here, and yeah, let's do some animation. Let's do flying. I like flying. So, what do we need to set up for this? So, let's decide how long he's going to take the flapper's wings. Let's go for 180 frames. What we need to do is make a first frame. So, oh, actually, no, sorry, I was going to show you. I know, sorry, I've tempted you now, haven't I? But I was going to show you a few extra things just to make rigging a bit easier, or, well, animating a bit easier. We can separate bone groups. So, for example, we want the root, actually, and you know what I'm going to do before I start animating is I'm going to make I'm going to call this pivot, and what I'm going to do is everything is connected to this, and this is connected to the root. This will just give me an extra point of movement for the dragon. Yeah, that's good. So now this moves the whole dragon, as well as this. That may sound like sort of duplicating the same function, but this will actually come in useful because it allows me to sort of make the dragon fly just in this nice T pose to assert dominance. Without moving this, which will be useful because then Unity can actually move this if it needs to make, you know, corrections or where it is and stuff. Anyway, so the other thing I was going to show you was that you can put things in different groups. So we can put the pivot in here. What I can do is put the all the body into well, okay, let's move this into this layer. Move the head into here, move the tail into here, and so that means I can just isolate one part of the dragon at a time without seeing all of this cluster going on. And I'm actually going to make each leg its own thing as well. So left, left. You see, these are the pro tips that you're getting by joining this stream. And here we go, here as well. Move this to here. And then the wings I'm also going to put on two separate things because they're just kind of annoying to look at otherwise. So now I've got body. This is all like the controls for the whole dragon. I've got the head, tail, left leg, back left, right left, and wings. And obviously I can have them all on at the same time if I want. What I can also do is make some bone groups and make them different colours. This is pretty cool. Just make it a lot easier to look at. Body, spine. We don't have to name them. I'm never going to look at this ever again, but I like naming things, don't judge me. Right limbs and left limbs, and also it sort of describes to you what I'm doing. So for example, if I make pivot like a dark green colour, and then I can assign this, and now they're like a dark green colour, I can make the body, oops, a lighter green colour, and I can make all of these left facing limbs a blue colour, and then I can make right facing limbs a I've managed to get my left and my right wrong again. I feel like a child. I'm so sorry. And then the tail and the head, I don't mind them being yellow. There you go. So this also makes it easier to look at, because now I can look at it from this side and I can see exactly what I couldn't before, which is, it's hard to tell like this, but like this I can see which is the left leg and which is the right leg and select it accordingly, or I can just hide everything, which is great. So that's fun. That is advanced pro rigging with just make sure you get your left and your right sorted, and you'll be fine. Okay. It's yeah, 1 in 10,000 chance a golden dragon will only move in a T pose. Yeah, well, that will happen. It's called a bug. There will be bugs. But if you, that's a good outlook to have on life. It's not a bug, it's just a 1 in 10,000 chance rare event. So, who knows? I've always loved the idea of like hidden secret animations in games. Like, they've done some like in, I think it was Battlefield Hardline, they had some like funny reload animations where like there's just like a 1 in a million chance where, like, instead of replacing the magazine in the gun, like the guy just took the gun off and threw it away and put a new one on the magazine. So who knows, maybe for the full release. I'd say make it a Kickstarter goal, but we've already basically planned it. I'm sure I'll just do it for fun one night when nobody's looking. Okay, so we got a dragon. Let's do a quick animation, shall we? We can plan everything. So I'm just going to keyframe everything. I'm going to press this little button down here, and this will now just automatically keep all the changes I make. So we'll make him fly high, and we'll start with a wings up pose, and what we'll do is we'll sort of bend the wings back here because he's anticipating this force, huge amount of force on these wings to lift this behemoth of a dragon, and his head is going to crane forward, with the weight of his enormous noggin. It's going to move like that, and we're going to just bend his body a bit, sagging with the weight of all of those leg muscles. I mean, he's got some pretty thick legs. He's a thick dragon, if I'm allowed to say that. And the tail will probably, it won't be drooping like it was when he was on the ground. It'll be pert and ready. I might break it down into a few more pieces just to get a bit of extra flexibility on it. But for now, this demonstrates the point, and perhaps, so we'll see. Because obviously, you know, this dragon came to me in like a standing pose, and it's got to successfully morph between that and a flying pose. But yeah, so something like that. I might make some adjustments to the model, and he can, like, you know, chuck his legs in. I don't know what to do that like this. So yeah, maybe even more. I don't know. Is that just looks like when a cat like sits down, doesn't it? Oh well. Well, get some good feedback, I'm sure, from you guys. And then he's gonna have like a bit of a dog leg going on here, where the second joint actually bends backwards. And, don't ruin the surprise of the the T-pose that will almost definitely at some point find its way in the thing. So I don't know if I like that, but we'll stick with it for now. Anyway, I'm literally just going to put him in a first pose here, and then we can see we can go from there another time. But this is the core idea of animation. So we make this, oops, and keyframe that, and then we go to the other one, and then we make his wings flap down, and then we make him bob up and down a bit. And look at this. Oh, beautiful. Isn't that the most gorgeous animation you've ever seen? I suppose it would be better if I actually made it loop as well. And then that, my ladles and jelly spoons, is one fantastic flying dragon. As you can see, I am a professional. There you go. So, what do you guys think of that? Was that helpful? Was there any questions or anything? Anything that you'd like me to go over in more detail? Let's just keep this playing because it's gorgeous. It's so beautiful. Majestic. Gentle. Soft yet strong. Fair but firm, I think, is what I'm going to call this animation. It's I'd hesitate to say a masterpiece, but it is one of my best works. Let's just see this in all its glory here. I installed Blender. Sorry, no, hang on, this needs to be a proper Blender tutorial, doesn't it? So today we're going to delete the default cube. So what you want? Yeah. So yeah, you press. I think how do you delete the default cube now in Blender? I think it's Shift Control Alt MX left click. I think is the shortcut. But the easiest way to get rid of it is just to make it into a model. So. Yeah, I hope you guys are primed and pumped for a second stream, if I would consider doing one. Now I'm going to pay attention to all of your jokes. I'm sorry. That's half of my comedy right there, is to take everything literally. So yeah, I'll be going over, if you guys are interested, of course, a bit more animation, because I think a lot of, like, especially in Blender, a lot of YouTube tutorials, if you Google how do you animate in Blender, and you'll get a lot of YouTube tutorials that are just like telling you what buttons to press to make Blender do certain things. So you press I to add a keyframe, but it's but it's just, yeah, I think what I'm going to try and focus on is less, you know, what buttons do you press, although to a certain extent that is useful, but more of the theory, the technique, the you know, what goes on behind the scenes. How do I plan it? How do I plan it, and how do I execute it, I guess. Yeah. My favourite thing about this is that it's not symmetrical. But that's good. That just adds realism. Asymmetry is yeah, it just makes it more real, I think. It's almost uncanny, actually. If it weren't for the voxels, I think I would be scared right now, because I think it's a real dragon. Yeah. So actually, yeah, if you want, I'm ready to export this to Unity. Actually, it's not. Look at this. It's actually quite horrible, isn't it? Something's wrong with his. No, this is his wounded flying animation. So he's just been shot in the wing, in the shoulder, and yeah, it's a nasty injury. Well, I hope you all had fun. I guess I better end the stream now before I just keep talking forever. So it's been great having you all. It's been fun doing this. Did I mention it was my first stream ever? Well, I know I did, but it was still a lot of fun. And yeah, I am going to do this again. I've decided whether or not you want it. So we'll just decide a time. Maybe yeah, we'll decide a time. Anyway, I'll see you all around, I guess. And football's coming home. Goodbye.